So, without further ado, Mr. Scott Gallagher.
Thanks again, George. Hello, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to share with you, I've got two purposes to why I'm here. Number one is I'm going to share with you my own personal experience with addiction. And number two, possibly more important to a small percentage of you, maybe 1 to 3% of you, I'm going to be describing a workshop and offering a workshop. It's actually a 28-day program to teach you actually how to break any kind of bad habit and replace it with healthy habits that make you feel good about yourself so that you don't have to do this bad habit you're doing so much. So I want to share with you when I'm saying, I'm not here to jam anything down anyone's throat. I respect the choices you make in your life 100%. I'm not here to scare you into not doing drugs or alcohol. I'm not here to make you wrong for any choices you make. I'm here to share my experience. You just take a look at it and see how it relates to you. Now, the first question I want to ask you is, does everyone that drinks alcohol become addicted to alcohol, yes or no? No. You're absolutely right, so I want you to know I'm not here to convince you of anything other, different. Does everyone that smokes marijuana become addicted to marijuana? No. No. Some people said yes because it seems that way for maybe you because of some of your friends or something like that. With me, I used to smoke marijuana casually. In high school, grade 10, get high, it was great, loved the party, video games and, all that. And then eventually, I'm smoking 10 to 20 joints a day and I'm not getting high anymore. So for me, I became addicted to marijuana. For me, I became addicted to alcohol. For me, I became addicted to cocaine, crack cocaine, all kinds of drugs I used to do. The Center for Addiction and Mental Health, which is one of the biggest reputable addiction treatment places in Toronto, I guess. One of their senior counselors had this to say about me. She put it on my website. She said, I've never met anyone who has suffered with the degree of addiction problems than you, Scott Gallagher, have suffered from. So in this short period of time, I'm not going to be able to get into all the intensities of my story and what happened to me with all of these addictions, but there were many, many, many addictions. From the drugs to watching television 8-10 hours a day, to binge food eating, to eating candy and sugar and what have you. But what I want to tell you is that as you listen to my story, you're going to notice some behavior choices I made. And I notice these choices are made by every kid that ends up becoming addicted to anything. And here's what they were. I was extremely dishonest. Not like, I know most people lie. That's human nature. Most people lie. But I'm saying to the extreme. Selfishness to the extreme. And I used to play the victim. All addicts that I've met, maybe we've been victimized, many of us. I grant you that. But some of us play that to just extremely play the victim. And how that looks is, I'm always blaming and complaining about my life, and it's never my fault. It's like because of my mother, or because I don't have my father with me, or because I don't have the right girlfriend, or because, the economy's the way it is, or because I was abused. There's always some excuse as to why my life sucks. It's never my fault. That's called the victim mentality. Every single addict I've ever met, including me, we do this to the extreme. My dishonesty, I saw it in grade 7. I used to steal to buy candy. Grade 7 or less, I don't know the exact age, but I would steal money from my mother on a weekly basis. I would go door to door collecting money for a charity and keep that money to buy candy. I robbed a blind woman at least once to buy candy. I was a thief. I'm very dishonest as a little kid. If my brother and if I was about to get in trouble for anything, I would blame it on my brother, like dishonesty at the core. And what I found is with all my work with addicts is that dishonesty is one of the most number one ingredients that leads kids to become addicted. Because when you keep lying and lying, when I keep lying, I feel guilty inside, and I don't want to feel that guilt, so I do drugs or food or be on the internet for 10 hours or download MP3 files for like 8-10 hours a day, anything to just avoid feeling the guilt in my life that I created. I got addicted to paint and varnish remover in grade 9. Paint varnish remover. Does that sound like an insane thing to be doing? Yeah? Well, okay. And if you think about it, a lot of us have, we have all these judgments towards addicts. Like the crack addicts, they're the real bad addicts. The heroin addicts, the cigarette addicts, they're okay. And, these people here, how about I'll be doing a workshop, and there will be guaranteed girls in my workshop, and even sometimes guys, that cut themselves with razor blades addictively. You don't know it because they hide it. But is that insane? Any addiction's insane. And I'll tell you, I don't see any difference I have no judgment towards anyone regardless of what their bad habit or addiction is. How could I? They all accomplish the same thing. When a kid grows up being bullied in school, or they grow up being bullied at home, and they're treated like crap enough times, and they believe they're a complete loser like me, that's how I felt about myself, then we'll do anything not to feel that way. That's why people cut their wrists. That's why people do all kinds of different drugs. And why some people are total overeaters, some of them are undereaters that come to the workshop, gambling, all kinds of different things. It's trying to solve a problem, and it's an emotional problem. Here's how it got started for me. I went to this new community, with this drug anyway. I went to this new community, and kids, and I didn't know how to make friends very well. Jane and Finch I was comfortable with. That's where I grew up. Now I'm living in this small town, and I don't got any friends. I don't know how to make friends. My clothing looks different than other people's clothing because it's like Goodwill clothing, and I'm wearing the same stuff a lot. And people use that as an opportunity to make fun about me and talk about me and start rumors. And then one day in my history class, someone steals the master test. Someone steals the test with all the answers on it, and I got blamed for it. I was a thief. I was dishonest. I own that today. But I actually didn't steal this thing. And what happened is, if you can imagine, everyone starts this rumor about this one kid, the new kid from Toronto. And you just apply this to yourself or to other kids we start rumors about. And all of a sudden, I feel really like I got no friends. I'm totally alone. I'm scared. I don't know how to talk to people as it is. And to top it off, I got the whole school outcasting me. So for me, running home at 3:15 in the afternoon and doing paint and varnish remover solved the problem. It would burn out my brain cells. It would make me feel nauseous. It wasn't even much of a high, but at least in those moments, I didn't have to deal with the terror and the fear and what it felt like to hate yourself and not know why you hate yourself. All addicts I've ever met have love missing in their life for whatever reason. I didn't figure it out later that this world is almost kind of sick, that you're not going to get love from people. Like, what I mean by that is, I got love when I started giving love to people and helping other addicts. That's when I experienced love. Before, I used to try to get the right girlfriend. I was always going from girlfriend to girlfriend. Get the right friendship, get the right this, get the right that. Trying to get my mother and father to love me properly. But nobody could love me the way I wanted them to love me. And so I always had low self-esteem and hated myself. And I only figured out much later that whatever you want in life, you've got to give it to others. I got love in my life now, and it's not because anyone gave it to me. It's because it was already in my heart, and I just had to be willing to give it and help other people that wanted help.